It's not in the College.
It is not.
Okay, I'm going to call this meeting to order. Please rise and recite the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for coming, and I would ask that everyone please turn their phones to airplane mode so it doesn't interfere with our broadcasting on TV. The first part of this meeting is a public hearing on 3 items. The first item is discussion, consideration, and possible voting on an ordinance amending the Town of Ocean View Code relating to use regulations as set out in Chapter 140, Land Use and Development. Are you going to summarize that?
I certainly am. So this particular ordinance basically amends the Land Use and Development Code to add a prohibited use. And the prohibited use would be the operation of a marijuana cultivation facility, a marijuana product manufacturing facility, a marijuana testing facility, a retail marijuana store, each as defined in Title IV, Section 1302 of the Delaware Code, or a marijuana smoking lounge shall be prohibited within the municipal borders of Ocean View. And this ordinance essentially tracks the state ordinance and the language and allows for the prohibition, which allows for the prohibition of these facilities. It does not allow for the prohibition of medical marijuana facilities.
Registered for the state.
Correct. I'm sorry, for medical marijuana facilities, but they have to be registered with the state. That's correct.
Okay, thank you. Any comments from the town council before I open it up to public comment?
No.
No.
Okay, at this time, I would ask if anyone has a comment to make or wants to ask a question, please come to the podium, state your name and your address.
Thank you. So I'm Brian Warnock. I live in the estuary, 36092 Watch Hill Road, Frankfort, Delaware. And I came to the last meeting, I'm coming to this one. I hope you don't all have your minds made up already. What I just want to say to you is you have a very nice town. If you allow marijuana to be sold here, it is not going to ruin it. That's a big boogeyman. You're not going to bring a bad element here. The people who are going to come to buy marijuana are going to be a lot of people just like me. A good half of them are going to be senior citizens. And if you don't allow it, the only thing you're doing is you're inconveniencing your neighbor. You're going to cost a handful of jobs for the people that would work there. And you're going to take my money, if I will buy marijuana products, but now I will have to go to Ocean City, and I'll give my tax money to the state of Maryland instead of the state of Delaware. It just makes no sense. If you allow this, the sale of marijuana here, people aren't going to be in the park next door smoking joints, nobody's going to be driving home stoned, nothing's going to happen. They're going to come here, they're going to buy a product, and they're going to leave. So I don't really understand why there's this great opposition to it. It is legal in the state of Delaware, you all know that. Yes, you do have the right to prohibit it, but I don't know why you would want to do that. So that's all I have to say about it, and I thank you for listening to me.
Thank you.
Hello again. Hi. For the record, I'm Alexandra Miller, 113 West Avenue. I just have my notes on my phone, so okay, 113 West Avenue, right over here. Listen, guys, I was really angry the last 2 times, and I'm still very angry, but I don't have the energy to get myself that worked up as I did the last 2 times, because it really took a toll on my physical and mental well-being. I did write you guys a nice email, which basically surmises and encapsulates my previous 2 comments. Chief, I did include you on that email. I would love to speak with you one-on-one if you ever would like to learn more about cannabis and how to properly regulate it, all the compliance, anybody. So I don't have that much time. Basically, I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. Basically, we shouldn't even be here right now. There shouldn't even be a discussion even to ban it. We should be just talking about properly zoning it and regulating it. And if you guys, last time we had a really lovely presentation from the financial planners with that audit, you guys had a great profit number. Imagine what that could be if you guys had accepting tax revenue from cannabis. The children at local schools could be having mental health, behavioral health, literacy programs, which I went in my first comments. If you want to look at that record, I referenced all of what Colorado was doing. I used to live there and work in the industry. Voters voted to legalize this legitimate business. We shouldn't be enacting total bans. Quite frankly, it's hypocritical and discriminatory. This is a heavily promoted alcohol culture here, and alcohol is a neurotoxin, it's a poison, it's extremely dangerous. Look at Dewey Beach, they're creating all of these curfews. Why? Because of fights. What's prompting these fights? Alcohol in bars. Cannabis isn't doing that. So, not to mention, people are sick. People are dying. Not everybody has the luxury of getting a medical card here in Delaware because it's extremely restrictive. There's so many barriers. Dispensaries, compassion centers are not allowed to give any information about what kind of doctors to see. Not all doctors are even allowed to sign the form. So people are forced to go see private facilities which charge upwards of $300. What are you gonna do? Spend $300 plus the money to get your medicine, or are you just gonna spend $15 to go get your copay of opioids or benzodiazepines, which are so much more dangerous? I went into a little bit of detail about my health issues. I had some experience, taking these things, and they ruined my life. Cannabis saved my life. And before people spend the money and the time to go get their medical card, they should be able to go into a shop and just go buy one little thing. It's legal. They're above 21. It shouldn't be easier for them to go get a cigar or booze or pills than it is for them to go get a plant. And sorry, I said I wasn't gonna get worked up. I got worked up. Anyways, I just want to end it on it's safe, it's legal, it's compliant, and please just consider it. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Any other comments? I would like to mention, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Jean Duffy, a registered nurse from Milton, Delaware. I am a cannabis nurse consultant and a member of the Delaware Cannabis Advocacy Group. I was appointed by the Speaker of the House to serve on the Marijuana Control Act Oversight Committee. I am here today to vote against the ban of sales of cannabis in Ocean View. Since cannabis has been proven to have a therapeutic benefits, it should be available for use for those who are 21 years and older. Cigarettes and alcohol has been proven to have negative effects for health, but yet it is available for use in many stores. Cannabis, which is safer than both alcohol and cigarettes, should be available as well. Thank you.
Excuse me, could you state your name and your address again?
I apologize. My name is Jean Duffy. My address is 126 Starlight Drive, Milton, Delaware.
Thank you. We did receive 2 emails today, one from Alexander Miller and one from Dawn Lentz that will be part of the record on this public hearing.
Can I make a comment, please?
Yes. Please state your name and your address.
Sure. My name is Lizzie Golub, Lizzie Golub. I reside at 20476 Asheville Drive in Millsboro. And good afternoon. So I'm a wife and a mom to 3 children. I'm a retired elementary education teacher. I serve on the board of Delaware National Organization Reform of Marijuana Laws, and I'm the membership coordinator for Delaware Cannabis Advocacy Network. I have been opiate-free since becoming a cannabis consumer in 2016. So after a car accident in 2009, I was in chronic pain and like many others, prescribed multiple opiates to deal with it. These prescriptions were doing more harm than good to my body. I was introduced to cannabis edibles in the fall of 2016, and it gave me much needed relief. The state legislature passed cannabis legislation in April 2023. For towns to go against that and ban cannabis businesses from entering is very counterproductive. As a small business owner, I want to have options on where I can have a business. Studies show that other retail stores increase their businesses when dispensaries are nearby. When people come to town to purchase, they will go to restaurants and other stores, and this will boost Ocean View's economy. Cannabis has harmed no one except the prohibition of it. To ban a market here will only allow the illicit market to thrive. We should be talking about what safety measures stores need to have to operate, not banning them completely. Retail stores would have an ID check system, whereas the illicit market does not. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me today, and I ask you not to ban cannabis sales. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other comments? Okay.
Just want to make an observation. We've heard from everybody asking you to please allow the sale.
Can you come up and
Oh,
identify
I'm
yourself? Sorry, no worries.
But I don't see a crowd of people here saying, don't do it, don't sell marijuana. I don't see anybody here saying that. So I ask you to listen to us. And this horrible thing that's going to happen, it's not a horrible thing. If it was so bad, the place would be packed with people saying, don't sell marijuana here. But they're not. Just an observation.
Thank you.
Can you state your name on the record?
Oh.
I'm sorry, sir, just so we can have it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I was here before.
Yeah.
I already logged in. Brian Warnock.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Warnock,
Yes.
question. Ocean View, Millville, Selbyville, Dagsboro, Millsboro, Dewey Beach, Rehoboth Beach, Milton. That's just in the lower area. The towns are kind of doing what we're considering, okay? Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Ignorance? I don't know. Why?
Well,
You tell me why. What is so bad about it? It's legal in the state of
Again,
Delaware. Why are they? I think they have their head in the sand. I don't think they're
really,
paying attention. I don't think they have gone to Ocean City and see what a dispensary looks like. What are they so afraid of? I don't know. I think it's just, reefer madness. It's just old-fashioned. I don't know why they're so against it.
very good. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Well, just to comment, you may not see other people in here saying anything positive or negative, about marijuana. But as members of the town council, we have all heard from people, store owners, other businesses, private citizens, HOA communities, asking us not to allow marijuana. So even though they're not here, there are other people that have commented as well. I'm going to ask if the town council has any other comments they want to make before we...
No, sir.
No.
Okay, then I would need a motion on the ordinance amending the Town of Ocean View Code relating to use regulations as set out in Chapter 140, Land Use Development.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion for this ordinance to prohibit marijuana cultivation facilities, marijuana production, manufacturing facilities, testing facilities, retail marijuana stores, or smoking lounges as permitted in the zoning districts within the town of Ocean View.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None opposed? So passes 4-0. Moving on to the next item, discussion, consideration, and possible voting on an ordinance amending the Town of Ocean View Code relating to licenses as set out in Chapter 93.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, this ordinance specifically amends Chapter 93 of the Ocean View Code, and essentially it prohibits the issuance of business licenses to the various marijuana facilities as permitted by Title IV, Section 1302 of the Delaware Code. It says no license shall be issued by the town of Ocean View for the operation of a marijuana cultivation facility, a marijuana product manufacturing facility, a marijuana testing facility, a retail marijuana store, each is defined in Title IV, Section 1302 of the Delaware Code, or a marijuana smoking lounge within the municipal limits of the town of Ocean View.
Thank you. Any comments from town council before I open it up to the public?
No, Mr. Mayor.
Hearing none, are there any comments from the public on this ordinance? Hearing none, I need a motion on the ordinance amending the Town of Ocean View Code relating to licenses as set out in Chapter 93.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion on an ordinance amending the Town of Ocean View Code relating to licenses as set out in Chapter 93.
Do I hear a second?
And can we
Second.
add, just to prohibit the issuance of licenses for marijuana facilities?
And to prohibit the issuances of licenses to operate various marijuana-related businesses in the Town of Ocean View.
Thank you.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passes 4-0. Okay, moving on to the last public hearing item. Discussion, consideration, possible voting on an ordinance amending the Town of Ocean View Code relating to property maintenance as set out in Chapter 169.
Mr. Mayor, this is an ordinance amending Chapter 169, the town's property maintenance code, specifically relevant to any brush, bushes, trees, limbs, shrubbery, flowers, or other vegetative growth projecting over any sidewalk or street area, whether the same is growth for food, fuel, shade, ornamentation, provided from the branches or limbs of the trees, may project over any sidewalk of an elevation not less than 10 feet above the level of the sidewalk, or street area at an elevation of not less than 16 feet above the level of the street surface. It also updates Chapter 169-6 building maintenance, specifically all buildings and structures and all parts thereof shall be maintained in a safe, sanitary, and non-hazardous manner. All means of egress, devices, safeguards, and equipment shall be kept in good working order. The exterior of all premises and the condition of all buildings, structures, and components thereon shall be maintained to prevent deterioration. The appearance thereof shall reflect a level of maintenance in keeping with the standards of the neighborhood and with all applicable ordinances of the Town of Ocean View. Any properties not meeting the standards of this chapter shall constitute a nuisance and a violation of this chapter. Additionally, yards and lots or courts shall be kept free of accumulation of trash, garbage waste, rubbish, refuse, junk, and other noxious and offensive materials or substances which may cause a fire hazard or may act as a breeding place for vermin or insects. Storage of miscellaneous items must be within enclosed structures or screened. This ordinance will allow us to hold property owners accountable for properties that are not being maintained or falling apart, they're dilapidated, deteriorated, etc.
Thank you. So, if the public wants to see the changes from the previous ordinance, all they have to do is go online, look at the underlined items in the ordinance to see the difference.
Yes.
Thank you. Any questions from
No.
town council?
No, sir.
If I could share just one thing, we've had incidences where people complain about a property and our code as it's currently written just falls short, where we're not able to address things. So this is gonna do a lot to help us. You know, we talked about clean, safe, livability, community feeling and sense of community, and this is gonna help us with that, you know, trying to get there and stay there.
Okay, thank you. So I need a motion on the ordinance amending the Town of Ocean View Code relating to property maintenance as set out in Chapter 169.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to amend Chapter 169 to include additional and revise established nuisances and to include requirements for building and yard maintenance. It also renumbers existing code sections to account for the addition of the new section 169-6 addressing building maintenance.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Time.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None opposed? Passes 4-0. All right, we're going to be moving to the regular agenda, so I need a motion to adopt the agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move to adopt the agenda for October 10th, 2023.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So passes 4-0. I now need a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of September 12th, 2023.
Mr. Mayor, I want to make a motion to approve the minutes, the special minutes from September 21st, 2023.
This is for the regular minutes.
It's, September 12th. Top one.
Mr. Mayor, I'll rescind that comment. I would like to make a motion to approve all the minutes, the regular minutes from September 12th, 2023.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So passes. I now need a motion to approve the special minutes from September 21, 2023.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the special minutes from the Thursday, September 21st, 2023 special meeting.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So passes 4-0. Communications and presentations. I have an email that came in today from the South Coastal Volunteer Administration, and I'd like to read it. It was sent to Carol. Carol, I apologize for not sending you this message earlier. I wanted to let you know how much the volunteers and members of South Coastal Village Volunteers enjoyed the presentation by Sergeant Russ Carter on how to avoid scams. Russ was very informative and a great presenter. He managed to keep all 25 members and volunteers in their seats for almost 2 hours on September 28th. I thought I was pretty knowledgeable about simple things like unsubscribe, but it turns out that I've been wrong, that I've been doing it wrong. The overall picture that Russ painted on Ocean View's strategic direction, the town's vision, planning, training, and other goals was inspiring. He made me want to move to Ocean View. He should be on the speaker's circuit if he isn't already. Thank you so much for your ongoing support of our village. Russ's help when needed and his wisdom on this important subject. Thank you.
Good stuff.
Great job.
2 hours.
Okay, we're going to move to the reports, the financial report from Don Parks.
Thank you. Before you, you have the monthly financial update as of September 30th, 2023. As of the end of September, we have collected 98% of our current year's taxes, leaving just over $50,000 still to be collected. 2,715 property owners took advantage of the early payment discount and a savings of over $27,000 this year. On September 7th, we received a list of 15 properties that were at least 2 billings in arrears from their water service. We had calls go to all the properties. We sent letters to the properties. We also had Chief stop by a couple of properties to make sure there wasn't anyone living there, or if there was, they were aware. We did end up still turning off one property, and I've not been able to get hold of the family as of yet. So I'm still working on that, trying to get hold of the family member that doesn't live in town. The balances for our reserve and committed funds are listed for you. If you have a question about any of those, just let me know. Going over to our transfer taxes, as of August 31st, we had 16.7% of our transfer taxes from new construction home sales, 2.4% from land sales, and 80.9% from the sales of existing homes. This comes down to 6 new constructions, 36 resales, and 4 land sales. From pages 5 to 6, you'll see our financial statement recap. At this point, we have utilized 40% of our expenditure budget. Normal for 5 periods would be 42%, so we're right on target of where we should be at this time of the year. And we have received 76% of our revenues. If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them for you.
Does anyone have any questions for Dawn?
No.
Thank you. Moving on to public safety report. Chief McLaughlin.
Yes, sir. I'll start off, we had 7 responses recorded in the town of Millville in September. The volunteer unit logged 161 hours of service. You can see there's a whole list of training that was conducted by members of the department during the months of September. Kind of playing a little catch up, although as you know, our training is ongoing. We get busy in the summertime, so we're making up for some training that wasn't done this summer. We already mentioned, Sergeant Carter presented the anti-scam and fraud awareness training to South Coastal Village volunteers. Got a list of miscellaneous items there in your report. We assisted the town of Bethany Beach with the holiday fireworks event. The police department received $32,637.88 in grant funds from the Fund to Combat Violent Crime. That money is going to be used for training, equipment, and overtime patrols. We also received a grant for $4,446.75 from the Special Law Enforcement Assistance Fund. That money is going to be used to purchase training mannequins that will be used in first aid training, and audit of the evidence room was conducted. And I'll end it real quick with a report on our police recruit, Tara Mazza. You've all met Tara. She serves as our seasonal police officer over the past summer, and she started the police academy on Sunday, and so far so good. She's hanging in there and doing well. My understanding is she's been very tired at the end of the day, but she's doing well, and we're proud of her, and we hope to see her graduate in the spring. I'll certainly entertain any questions the council has.
Any questions for the chief?
Mr. Mayor, thank you. Chief, the 7 responses that were recorded in the town of Millville, what was the approximate amount of time that our officers waited, or did they, were they waiting at the scene for the state police, or were they actually conducting whatever issue was it called for?
We do track that. I don't have that information available right now, but I can certainly provide you with a summary of all 7 incidents. And yeah, I can, you know, it really is unique to the incident. There's some times where we're waiting for them. It's their, all of these calls are their calls. So we're getting called in by the 911 center to respond because either the trooper that's responding requires assistance, or second officers needed, or the trooper's not close by, so they're sending us to kind of stand by and until the trooper gets there.
So there could be various reasons why. Was any time the officer or officers from Ocean View not in the town and over in Millville waiting for state troopers to arrive? because they were running late or anything like that?
Yes.
All right, thank you, sir.
Chief, could you tell us what those 7 incidents were?
I don't have that breakdown in front of me. I can give you that. We do track that. And we track the time that the officers arrive on scene and the time they depart. I don't know, the report that we have, that I've provided you just has the total number. Oh, one second, my assistant here is giving me just, one was a medical assist, one was an endangered child complaint, 2 disorderly conducts, a burglar alarm, a domestic dispute, and a welfare check. So those were the types of incidents. I really can't give you the duration of time that was spent there. You know, again,
But we do have it.
Yes, we do have it.
We are tracking
I can
it.
give you that
If you
information.
want us to start providing that information with this.
That would be useful. I did hear the burglary at the smoke shop, though.
That was in October.
Oh, okay.
So I'll report on that next month, but that was a recent one that we arrived on scene. And actually, in that particular case, we waited there quite a while, close to an hour, before the troopers were able to get there.
So that was just a smoke shop that sells CBD product. And things were stolen out of there. I mean, you can imagine how much more dangerous it would be if we were.
I believe that's like the 3rd time that particular establishment's been broken into here in the last year or 2.
And just to be clear, it's, you all know, I think everybody knows, it's not in the town limits.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, so all of, you just read off, medical, child, disorderly conduct, burglar alarm, domestic, and welfare check. So any one of them could be significant when you pull up,
Absolutely.
depending on what the situation is. So, you know, we have to consider the risks that our officers every day encounter, but now it's in the next town over.
Right, Mr. Mayor, I think it'd be helpful if we can get that time that our officers are, you know, spend over there. And Chief, one last question. Did any of those people in the audience come and talk to you about medical marijuana dispensaries or anything like that?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
I think we've been almost a year, if not a year, tracking the more detailed information
Yes, it's
of the.
longer
when
than
we-
that. So,
the
yeah,
outage.
if you want to, you know, I can give you a little bit clearer picture as to what the type of calls are and the duration of time that's spent. You know, we can certainly provide a report on that.
That
Yeah,
would be
sometimes
useful.
it's just a matter of a few minutes. Now, the other thing that you have to kind of keep in mind too, it's not just the amount of time that we're on scene. So we might be respond to a call, say for a domestic, and we spend 10 minutes there, and we return back, but then the officer still has to do a report on that, and the report itself could, you know, take 20 minutes, 25 minutes to complete. Somebody, normally Captain Hall, the sergeant has to approve the report, pass it on to Captain Hall. Captain Hall's got to approve the report, and yeah, we have video from the event that we have to download and catalog. So even a 10-minute response outside of town could result in easily an hour's worth of time or more, depending on the situation.
Mr. Mayor, that to me is the total amount of time per incident that I would love to see.
Well, we don't want to put a burden on you trying to, you know, track every minute of the day. But I think it's important that for us to know how much time is spent on answering calls outside of town.
I can,
And that
Very
means the total amount of time.
well, very definitively, I can tell you how much time we're on scene from the time we go 10/8, or from the time we arrive on scene to the time we clear, we have that captured. The report element, yeah, we could be involved in arrest, and there's a 6 months later, a subpoena, and we have to appear in court and testify. There's another day. If it's the officer's day off, that could be a day of overtime now, being paid out on his day off to go testify in court for an incident that occurred outside of our jurisdiction.
I understand, but I think,
Yeah, so we certainly,
I think knowing how much time our officers spend on adjudicating a case and everything that goes with it is useful.
okay, I will try to put something together year to date.
Okay.
It might take me a little while, but I should have it by next month.
By next Monday, you said?
Next month. Good to hear that, sir.
2025.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, moving on to planning, zoning, and development. Jay Seminole.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't really have an extensive report to give. The most exciting thing that happened, I guess, was the tropical storm that wasn't. We were fortunate. We didn't get as much rain, wind, and flooding that was expected. We did have one tree come down on Saturday, September the 23rd, I think. That was Saturday. Yep. I got a call at 8:20 a.m. from the PD, contacted our maintenance manager, and our folks were out to Savannah's Landing, cut the tree up, and cleared the road by 9:30. So it was a really good job by those folks.
Did your staff have to cut up the tree, or did you get someone to do that for you?
Our staff cut up the tree. Then we had contract support come in on Monday and cut it up and dispose of it. We also had a lot of debris from the trees in Hunter's Run and Savannah's Landing. We had contract support come in and sweep those communities. We replaced a 15-inch asphalt coated corrugated metal pipe at 31 Cromwell Drive on Hunter's Run. That was completely impacted by dirt and roots, caused the road to flood out there. Capital improvements, the Lord Baltimore Elementary School footbridge is finished. I had conversation with Principal Pam Webb. She was very appreciative to the town of Ocean View for our efforts to get that project completed, and we both agreed that we hope we never need it. Woodland Daisy project, we finally got that out to bid. Town manager will be accepting bids on Thursday, November the 2nd. Code enforcement was kind of a quiet month. Permits, COs, business and rental licenses are all there for your review. One late item I have was taken care of today. Town manager signed the agreement with the Delaware Department of Transportation for design funding for the future Burzins Nature Trail. The dollar amount that will be paid for by DelDOT is $437,102. The town share is 20% of $546,378, which is about $119,000. Finance director has already forwarded that money over to DelDOT, so that project design-wise is getting ready to kick off.
Great, great. Thank you.
Yep.
Any questions?
Just great. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to the town manager's report.
Yes, Mayor and Council and people here or either on the TV. Deaf Fest, new date, got rained out during the tropical storm event, and it will be November 11th. Our police department will be participating, and we're hoping they can get that event in. Town picnic, just want to thank everybody for their support. Thank Shawanda again for her great idea, and we had bad weather, but we have gotten good feedback about the event, so so that's rewarding. Agreement of sale, 8 Oakwood Avenue. At this point in time, after the council's vote on September 21st, we anticipate closing for that property will be on October 31st. And in the future, near future, hopefully I will be able to get back to you about, with some ideas for a workshop for the use of the property. 32 West, the building we're in right now, we've been approached by the state election, Department of Elections, about using this for a primary national election. We filled out some information, they came, met Donna for a tour, seemed favorable, but they have never really given us anything 100% saying they've selected it. If you heard more, which I think you have, I reached out a couple times last Thursday and maybe the day before trying to get that actual information. But at time of writing and as I sit here today, no one has confirmed.
Postcards have gone out and no one votes now at Lord Baltimore, and this is listed as a polling place.
Okay.
And Church of Christ at the end of the street is where Frank and I have to go past.
Well, Councilman
Here
Cobb
to
had
go
said
there.
it too, and then we went back into our conversations with the people who came out. And I've just since last week said, are you definitely interested in using this site? And we got nothing, so that's good to hear. But I'll make a point again tomorrow.
They ought to notify the town, right?
Well, I mean, we kind of felt good, Donna felt good that they liked the opportunity with the parking and we had accessibility and things. But like I said, we didn't fill out a survey until last week that asked all the different questions about the location. So.
Does the state provide any financial resource?
It's our understanding they make a payment, but that's another thing I was trying to get the final details of.
Do they staff it as well?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so I will be following up on that, so thank you for that good information. Let's see. Several of us were presented with an update for the Bethany Beach Bladder Dam project, and we got new information, and while it does appear to be very promising, we are going to await a review of the information by the town engineers regarding the project and the new evaluations that they've done, the new studies. The funding for the project has not yet been secured at this time, so I think it's several years out regardless. One thing that we know is happening next year is the town of Ocean View is going to turn 135 years old. I wanted to get guidance. We've talked about it, kind of like little bit of just discussions and things, and some other towns have celebrated their 70th or whatever in recent years, weeks, months. I wanted to, before we get going and plan things in, I just want to kind of have a show of support. I think we can do it relatively inexpensively, but nice, because of combining some of our existing efforts, such as taking 2 of our concert nights and using that money for those bands on that day. And put a bunch of different things in here for what we could do, but just really want to know, get a show of support, because we do, I know I'm talking next June 15th of 2024, but time flies.
Well, I think it's a great idea. I think, if we could include something like a little parade down West Street, in which we would have the fire engines, maybe we get the Indian River High School band, followed by the VFW color guard, have the police involved. That would be a nice little parade coming down West Street, coming into the park, and then having our festivities. I think that's a great idea. 135 years is something to crow about.
I love the ideas.
Any other comment?
Great.
Reasoning of the June 15th is it's the middle of the year, and we also have our newsletter goes out in May. So a very good opportunity to have very last minute information in the hands of everybody who owns property, since we send it. Like I said, I think we could do this relatively inexpensively, maybe not with any additional monies needed. Of course, we won't be talking about that budget until the new year and approving it in April for a start in May, but like I said, we have some other things that are, the event that we just we're not able to have, American Graffiti, have been successful in having everybody transfer to next year. So those funds will not have to be spent this year. Okay? Okay, well, I think I'm hearing that move forward with that, and tell me if that's not the case, but we will move forward if you're good with that. I'm going to skip over a couple things because we're going to deal with them. I already talked to you about that. Other than that, any questions about anything that's in my report or our maintenance report? I just want to show we have 2 Public Works employees, and you're seeing all the different things that they've done over the course of the last month.
Any questions for the town manager?
Any word from Indian River School District or anything? How the meeting
Nothing,
went?
nothing as of today.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you. I don't have the Millville Volunteer Fire Company report. You need that one? Okay.
It'll probably come tomorrow. Sometimes it hits just like that.
So we'll do it next month.
We'll add it.
Yeah. Now we have citizens' privilege on items on the pre-published agenda listed for discussion and consideration, or items subsequently added at any time to the pre-published agenda for discussion and consideration. So if anyone chooses to get up and talk about an issue, you may talk about that, but you cannot bring it up in the second citizens' privilege. So anyone who's here, do you have any questions or comments? Seeing none, hearing none, we'll move on to new business. First item of new business is discussion, consideration, and possible voting on a recommendation to authorize a 15-year lease extension to the Ocean View Historic Society for 39 Central Avenue, the location of the Tunnel West House. Carol?
Yes, thank you. Wanted to recognize Mr. Phil Shockley, who is the treasurer for the Historic Village in Ocean View. I have the pleasure of working with him. As you know, I'm on the board as well. The town of Ocean View entered a lease agreement back in 2010 for the use of 39 Central. It's known as the 1860s Tunnel West House, for the purposes of making it into a museum, which it has become, that shows everybody in the community and otherwise how people lived at the time in Ocean View. The term of the original agreement was 15 years, 15-year lease that would normally end May 31st, 2025, unless it's extended. The Historic Village in Ocean View, which I'll say does business as the Historical Society does its business as the new name Historic Village in Ocean View, is very active in our community and engaged in the preservation and education right here in our town. We have a very strong partnership, as you know, with our events and enjoying the proximity of each other right here adjacent to our park. Maintenance is required, and as required in the lease, the tenant, the Historic Village, would be responsible to fund that maintenance. Okay, so they were able to obtain bond funds from Senator Hocker and Representative Gray were supportive of, in order to make the house that sits on Central Avenue much more attractive and maintained. So, for that reason, I am supporting the fact that we would extend at this time their lease for 15 additional years from the time that it would normally end, which is May 31st, 25, and extended till May 31st, 2040. And we would obtain all the necessary signatures, and if council is in favor of doing so, an addendum will be created to reflect all of the changes.
Good, thank you. Any questions?
Just a couple of quick ones. I was over at the show that they had last week with the older homes that were done by the artists.
Yes,
And
yes.
very nice. It was very, very nice to see. So the lease, isn't it, you mentioned that the Historical Society has gotten some bonds and funds to do the maintenance on the property.
The exterior of
The
the
exterior.
facility, yeah,
Okay.
which we own.
Right. In the current lease, was maintenance included that the town was taking care of?
No, it says they will, tenant,
That they will?
yes.
So there won't be any change in the lease documents per se on the new 15-year extension?
No, the only thing we'll do is we'll add 15 years, and we should take it from the time frame that's currently existing, and then there is currently an opportunity for the tenant to have obtained an additional 5 years, and I have no problem with that remaining.
I think it's just a wonderful addition to the town, Mr. Mayor, and highly support it.
Okay, good. Any other comments, questions? If not, Steve, since you thought this was a great idea, I need a motion to authorize a 15-year lease extension on the Ocean View Historic Society
Mr. Mayor?
for 39 Central Avenue, the location of the town of West House.
Mr. Mayor, I gladly introduce a motion to extend the 15-year lease on the Ocean View Historical Society at 39 Central, and proud to do it, sir, as always.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
And just for clarity, that is for a 15-year period with an additional 5-year
Five-year
option.
option.
Okay,
Okay, go
to
ahead.
continue the lease.
On the top of it.
Yes,
Extend.
at the time it terminates
Right.
in 2040.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So passes. Thank you.
So Mayor, the last mayor signed the prior
Do you want to
lease,
say
so
anything?
you'll be signing.
I'm ready.
Yep, okay.
Mayor and council,
He's on the board too.
could Mr. Shockley address?
Sure, you want to say something? Come on up. And it's good to see you without a mask on. So I can recognize you.
I just wanted to thank you all so much for your support and partnership. We, you know, I'm representing the board. They couldn't be here, but they wanted me to come, and I wanted to tell you all, I know that in the past there hasn't always been a great relationship between us and the board and the council, but we're working hard to change that, and I hope you feel like we have a good start in that. And there's no doubt that Carol is key to that. She has been such an important partner for us, and I know you all value her, and so do we. So thank you to Carol for all your work on that. And I have communicated with several members of the finance team on various things, because we are responsible for paying certain bills and things, and that team is top notch. They get back to me. We want to make sure that we fulfill our commitments under agreement. And so I hope that they feel like we're doing that. And if there's ever a question, feel free to get a hold of me, because we want the town to be proud of what we're doing here, because we certainly are. And we think it's a really great addition for us to have it on site here. So if there's any questions you'll have, please let me know. And Steve, actually, I have not met you, but I know your wife well, because she helped me buy my house. So please give her my regards.
Thank you. Our house was built in 1873.
Wow, great. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I know that the Historical Society means a lot to us as well. And whatever happened in the past is forgotten about. We have great relations now. I work closely with Barbara. Everything is just great.
Wonderful.
So,
Thank you very much.
Moving on to the next item of business, discussion, consideration, and possible voting on a recommendation to award open-end engineering services town engineer. Okay.
Mayor, this is for discussion, consideration, and possible voting on a contract award for the Town of Ocean View's General Engineering Services Town Engineer Contract OV 24-0001. Background, a request for proposals was placed in local papers and on the town's website for general engineering services, town engineer. The work includes furnishing all necessary labor, material, and equipment to provide the Town of Ocean View with professional engineering services when required. The Town of Ocean View reserves the right to vary the number of personnel required for the consultant, depending on the demand required to meet the urgency of the analytical or construction project. Sealed bids were due by 1 p.m. on Monday, October the 2nd, 2023. One sealed bid and one unsealed bid were received and opened as follows. KCI Technologies, that was the sealed bid. Davis, Bowen, and Friedel Incorporated, that was the unsealed bid. The proposals were read and rated by the Director of Planning and Development. The selection of the successful firm was based on the firm's experience, knowledge, skills, and abilities demonstrated in the technical review. It is therefore my recommendation that Mayor and Council authorize the Town Manager to enter into a contract with KCI Technologies for this open-ended contract for a term of 3 consecutive years, with the town option for 2 one-year extensions.
Thank you. Any questions for Ken?
8C.
If not, then I need a motion to authorize the town manager to enter into a contract with KCI Technologies for this open-ended contract for a term of 3 consecutive years with a town option for 2 one-year extensions.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that the town accept and the award of the engineering services based on the recommendation you just mentioned to KCI Technologies.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So passes. Thank you. Next item is discussion, consideration, and possible voting on a recommendation to appoint Ron Gailey to the Board of Adjustments. Ken?
Mr. Mayor, the Board of Adjustments has had a vacancy since July the 20th, 2023. After we've received communication from Mr. Robert Lawless that he would be resigning his position on the Board of Adjustments effective immediately after that day's meeting. We received a committee interest form from Mr. Ronald Gailey, who is a retired from the U.S. Park Police, Aviation Command, and has extensive experience serving the Savannah's Landing community since 2014. His committee interest form is included in your packet. It's my recommendation that the Mayor and Council appoint Ronald Gailey to fill the vacant Board of Adjustment seat.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? If not, then I need a recommendation to appoint Ron Gailey to fill the vacant Board of Adjustment seat.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that the Mayor and Council appoint Ron Gailey to fill the vacant Board of Adjustment seat that had been held by Bob Lawless, who served our town for a very long time.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So passes 4-0. Discussion, consideration, and possible voting on entering into an MOA with the State of Delaware Department of Technology and Information.
Yes, Mayor and Council. State of Delaware has procured the services of the Center for Internet Security to deploy out to the towns and cities across the state these certain services under a written agreement between the state of Delaware, and in this case the town of Ocean View. In recent weeks we've met with the Director of Risk Management and Government Services, Sandra Alexander, to discuss the opportunity and certain services. If we enter the MOA, would, involving cybersecurity monitoring, would be made available to the town free of charge for 1 year, as noted in my recommendation, the various services that would be provided. After meeting with our team, which includes Sergeant Carter, our in-house IT specialist, and Phil Malmstrom, who is with president of Diamond Computer, rather. That's our outsourced vendor. We've determined that it is in our best interest to take advantage of this 1-year savings and enhanced protection. Further, Sergeant Carter has acknowledged that he can provide the necessary information to facilitate the project and serve as the point of contact. Therefore, I recommend that Mayor and Council authorize the town manager, me, to enter into this MOA, which I attached for your reference with the State of Delaware Department of Technology, DTI.
Do I hear any questions or comments?
No.
If not, then I need a motion to enter into an MOA with the State of Delaware Department of Technology and Information.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that the mayor and council authorize the town manager to enter into a memorandum of understanding.
Yeah, it got us to, it's actually a memorandum of agreement.
Memorandum of agreement with the State of Delaware Department of Technology and Information, thereby enabling the town of Ocean View to access 1-year deployment of cybersecurity monitoring services.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So passes. Thank you. We now move to the second citizens privilege. If there's any comments that people would like to make, now is the time to do it. If not, then I need a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Mayor, motion to adjourn.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.